on this new launch. Now, moving beyond chai, let's flip the menu to the entire F&B space. Leading cloud-based restaurant technology platform Posist has released its India edition of the Restaurant Industry and Market Evolution, or Prime report. The survey, launched in September, examined the impact of COVID-19, the change in consumer behavior towards dining and food delivery around this time, and the new areas of technology restaurant owners that they are looking to invest in to build customer trust. In total, 300 senior executives in the restaurant industry participated in this survey. That's just to give you a sense of what the size and scale of the survey was all about. And to know more about the findings, I'm now joined by Ashish Tulsian, co-founder and CEO of Posist. Ashish, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Let's quickly talk about the key highlights from this Prime report. What were some of your observations?
Thanks, Megha. Thanks for the opportunity. The results are very interesting. I will not really say surprising, but I think last 6 months have really amplified certain trends. I was hearing what you were asking, Malik, right? This is not something which is new, but COVID has just chopped off certain existing practices and amplified the ones which were still latent. Some of the things which we saw was, restaurant industry is always known for having very, very high operating costs, very high rentals, high street, places, corner locations, high volume staff, etc. This industry was known to absorb high margins, absorb high costs, and operate on very high margins historically, and used to only worry about high volumes rather than the margins per se on a day-to-day basis. But as for our survey now, 65% of the restaurant owners across the country ranked high operating cost as one of the biggest challenge in the post-COVID, or rather a while COVID world as we are in. 55% of them, were citing rents as the top challenge, which, Megha, I've been a restaurant owner myself. Restaurant was always rentals were always a concern. They were not the challenge which a restaurant was, used to dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So that's one shift. Also, we saw that 40% of otherwise dine-in only, experience-only brands, they ventured into delivery, which was not their model, which was not what they were supposed to. Their kitchen and the chef and the kind of dishes they were, taking out, they were not used to. They ventured into it. 66% of the restaurant operators said that they had to reduce their team sizes. That means the same operation is going to be now, run by much lower staff. And 44% mentioned they had to reduce their food menu. And I think while some of these insights, look very, very bad for the industry, that, people are losing jobs, that's of course great. But on the other side, what's happening is that suddenly the pressure on margins has increased on restaurant industry way beyond anybody's imagination. And all the cuts in the staff or menu or rentals being the challenge is a function of that. So what we saw as a trend is that dine-in only restaurants are venturing into delivery. Delivery only restaurants are trying to figure out new ways of takeaway. And to top it all, there is this trend of cloud kitchens and D2C. So more and more restaurants, as per our survey, are trying to go direct to consumer. They are trying to get food aggregators to only give them new business. But the existing business, now the restaurants, their fortune really depends on how many of their loyal customers ordered, with them directly through their direct channels and not really through aggregators or heavier sources.
Right. Thank you for taking us through the highlights and, pointing out some of the change in the back end that we are seeing. But now let me talk about the front end. One of the things that your survey revealed was the fact that many restaurant owners are now relying on technology to build customer trust. So beyond the obvious, beyond the CCTV in the kitchen and beyond, a constant update of temperature of your delivery partners, etc., what are some of the other tech, installations that these companies have done or restaurant owners have done to kind of win the customer trust back?
Megha, I think this is not something very, very new. As I said, most of the trends are, just amplified. For example, the amount of adoption of QR code-based ordering menu inside the restaurant, at the takeaway, or even in the in the delivery, it's mind-blowing. I think in our universe of customers, 33% plus have already adopted that, within 2 months, which is according to me, quite a disruption in the behavior. Second is that the dine-in experience has changed. Now restaurants are able to actually, tell customers that there are not going to be any touch points if the customer is paranoid about it. So the digital payments have gone up, QR code ordering has gone up, and the live updates which are coming from the kitchen about each and every detail of every cycle of their food is one trend which I can see, continuously going up. It has also resulted in a lot of other things which, probably restaurants were also not, present to, which is on a digital menu, they're able to continuously upsell without waiters being involved. Now the staff is reduced, right? You need to make sure that the entire ordering experience is in the hands of the customer. So it is creating a lot of,
right.
It's a learning curve for the restaurants on how can you make sure that the customer has a better experience while they order themselves. But on the other side, the hygiene has gone really up because now everybody is able to do the entire ordering and go out paying without, literally touching anything if you leave the food alone.
Well, absolutely, and a lot of this we are seeing that happen real time, and hopefully these trends, some of them are long term, some of them would be short term, but we'll have to wait and watch. Thank you so much for joining us on Startup Street and sharing the highlights of your survey with us right here. With that, we'll have to slip into a quick break. With coming up next, serial entrepreneur Saurabh Saxena bets big on the edtech space. Third time in a row, he starts up a new company called Viewable. We tell you all about it on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.